Welcome. Good afternoon. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the New Jersey Academy of Science, New Jersey at the STEM Front 2021 Seminar Series. This month marks the 1 year anniversary that our New Jersey community was shifted to a quarantine mode. Since then, our reality has been dramatically transformed by this pandemic in so many ways. And so have we. Many of us have faced many challenges such as grief, loss, equity, and change. Worldwide, 118 million cases of COVID 19 have been reported, and nearly 3 million people have lost their lives to the virus. While the prevalence of testing, continuation of following the CDC guidelines by using masks, and the increasing distribution of the vaccine should give us hope and optimism for the future, we must remain vigilant. For this reason, we are continuing to hold our seminar series in a virtual manner. Today, we will be hosting Dr. Kiruthika Chandran. She will be discussing her topic, When Good Cells Go Bad. Dr. Chandran is an accomplished scientist with 10 years of experience in teaching and handling various challenge research projects aimed at identifying novel therapeutic strategies for diseases with 13 peer-reviewed publications. For today's event, we will host a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Please, should you have any questions, suggestions, clarifications, or just want to say hi, do not hesitate to post them in the chat mode. I sincerely hope you will enjoy today's seminar. Thank you for your presentation. At this moment, I would like to introduce Dr. Chandran. Go ahead, Dr. Chandran.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah, ma'am.
start my chair and you can start.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a wonderful introduction. So I'll be sharing my slide right now. This is a long weekend. Hi, good evening, everyone. This is a long weekend for school. So everybody will be interested to watch movies. Would you love to watch movies? If yes, please type yes in the chat box. Will you love to watch movies?
We got Miss Martha saying yes.
Oh, okay. And
Miss
everybody say
Pamela
chat
and
box.
Kila saying yes. Miss
Okay.
Langer or Nikila's Langer.
Saying yes. Wow. Yes. In the movie, there are two important characters. One is hero and one is villain. Obviously, we all like hero. But what about villain? How many of you like villain? If you like villain, type villain in the chat box. Nobody likes villain? Okay. Because, you can't imagine a very wonderful story without a villain. Villain gives lot of opportunities to hero to explore all his talents, right? I'm a big fan of villain in few movies because that movie will be a very hit because of that villain. You may be wondering why she's talking about villain, hero, movie and all, right? Because today I'm going to discuss about a serious villain in our body, that is cancer cell. Yes, before discussing about our superhero villain, I will tell about the normal cells. If you take normal cells, they will have normal DNA, normal chromosomes, and they will convert the food and oxygen into energy. They communicate and cooperate with all the cells and they kill themselves when they give it their all. Why? To make room for healthy cells. In case in this process, if it goes bad, it shuts themselves or it will be killed by the immune system. Sometimes these rogue cells find ways to survive. When this happens, it ends up with cancer. Here you can see the normal cell and a cancer cell. So how it is becoming a cancer cell? Because all the cells have DNA and in DNA they have genes. When the DNA is mutated, the gene is mutated, it end up with uncontrolled cell division, which leads to cancer. So, what causes genetic changes? It could be hereditary, it could be UV radiation, it could be chemicals, smoking, virus, anything. So, to define cancer, cancer is a group of diseases involving abnormal cell growth with the potential to invade or spread to other parts of the body. You can see here in the picture where the normal cell, after mutated, getting mutated, it is doubling, and finally it is becoming a malignant cell. Today I'm going to share about the tricks and the strategies used by cancer cells. Because if it has to survive in our body, it has to use lot of tricks. Okay, so let us learn what under tricks it is using. At the same time, these cancer cells are going to teach us some lessons to learn from their life. Let us see that also. The first thing is the normal cells know when to stop growing, but the cancer cells grow uncontrollably. Why? Because its DNA is mutated. When the DNA is mutated, there are certain genes in our cells which will control cell proliferation and cell death. So, when a repeated mutation occurs in those particular genes, then it cannot control its growth. It grows and it divides uncontrollably. Because of that only, the cancer cells grows uncontrollably. You can see here the cancer cells are growing. It is very large in size, and you can see the pattern of normal cells, which is very uniform and neat here. But the cancer cells, you can see no normal size, and it is growing like anything, uncontrolled growth. The second thing, what it is breaking is normal cells usually communicate with the host to survive and thrive, but the cancer cells communicate with other cells only to deceive from the body's defense mechanism. You know, our body has defense mechanism where when virus, bacteria, whichever foreign invaders invade our body, our immune cells will protect against it by fighting with that. But if you take the cancer cells, they are mutated, they are our own cells, but got mutated and it became a cancer cell, right? But still, it is not a good cell for our body. So, immune cells will target the cancer cells. So, how to escape, how to cheat the immune cells? That is the only thing the cancer cells will think about. And they will make all the communication based on that only. So, what are the different kinds of communication? Either it can communicate directly by gap junctions or ligand receptor pairs or through tunnel nanotubes. And there are also indirect communications which can be done by extracellular vesicles, cytokines, chemokines, or growth factors. Sometimes using metabolites mediated communication also. So cancer cells use all these type of communications to protect it from immune cells. Here, the cancer cells, as I told, the normal cells will undergo apoptosis. Apoptosis is programmed cell death. See, when the cells give everything to the body, then it will kill itself. Why? Because it want to give some room to the new cells. But the cancer cells, he is a villain, right? So how can he kill himself? He is here to kill others. So the cancer cell will divide indefinitely and become immortal. Here, the same thing which I was telling. So the normal cells and the cancer cells, everything will communicate. Communication is a very important mode for the cancer cell to grow. But when the cells are given instruction to die or to stop dividing, they will not do. Why? Something is happening wrong in the signaling because their genes got mutated. There is some miscommunication going on in the cancer cells, so they don't respond to the signals. So either the message sent too many times, or the message not sent at all, or the message may send through no signaling chemical attached to it, or the cancer cells will have lot of receptors on their cell surface which will affect the signals. So this means some crucial genes are switched on or off wrongly in cancer cells. And here in this picture, you can see in the normal cell division, the cell got damaged and it undergoes suicide. That is apoptosis. But in cancer cell division, it is kept on mutating, and finally it end up in uncontrolled growth. Now, another thing, what it does is it don't stick together. Why? Because it want to spread its colony everywhere. So it never stick together. So it will lose all its molecules on the surface and it detach from the place where it is holding. It's get holded. So this is another important characteristics of cancer cells. The next thing is they don't specialize. What do you mean by specialized? All the cells will get matured. When they get matured, they will do specific jobs. Like heart cells will do different functions, eye cells will different functions. This is called differentiation, right? But the cancer cells will never mature. Why? Because before maturing, only they will divide. So they divide so much quicker, so a lot of mistakes happens and it gets so much mutated and it becomes very aggressive. So the takeaway from the cancer cells, this part of life, what is the takeaway? This cancer cells wants to teach us something, break the rules and make the rules to be happy, but it will not shoot as in all conditions, but still, this is the lesson taught by cancer cells. Next, it is a tough survivor. Why cancer cell is called tough survivor? I'll tell you. Before that, I'll tell you what is the process of carcinogens. For example, if a cell is there and if it gets mutated, it will start proliferating. Okay, so that is called promotion. Where in promotion you can see benign tumor formation, and in progression you can see malignant tumor formation. So one cell gets mutated, then it start dividing, forms benign tumor, then it forms malignant tumor. Most of the 90% of the cancer cell death is happening because of metastasis. So what is metastasis? Here you can see here the cells are here. The cells are there. This is called primary tumor. After some time, the cells from the primary tumor will get detached and migrate through the bloodstream. Okay, then it forms colony in some other part, some other part or organs. As I told you, this cancer cell is a villain, right? So the villain want to occupy everywhere. He can't stay at one place. He want more and more. So what the cancer cells will do is detach and migrate and enter the bloodstream. But entering the bloodstream is not an easy task. Why? Because it has thermodynamic forces and fluid shear. And it has lot of immune cells which can attack the cancer cells. So how it is going to manage everything? The cancer cells always have a plan to manage everything. We'll see how. This is called adhesion cascade. This is a hypothesis. See, the cancer cells use various locomotion strategies. They float, they roll, and they crawl. I'll show you how. And they make their cell surface very rigid, and they can change their shape to anything like to occupy, to invade other organs. In this picture, you can see the cells are floating, adhering, rolling, crawling, anchoring. Here it will stimulate lot of adhesion receptors. Then it will pierce and put a hole and try to enter into the endothelium cells. Then sometimes it may cause apoptosis also. Finally, it will enter its target place or organ, target organ. So what are the other challenges faced by these cancer cells? It settles in an environment that has no much nutrients because that place will be new organ. It's a new place, right? Because breast cell cancer cells will go and occupy in bones. These two cells are completely different, right? So it has to build a place to survive in a new environment. it has to feed itself, it has to proliferate. So lot of challenges for these cancer cells. So how they are managing? First thing is, as soon as it enter a new organ, it will try to communicate, it will try to make friends, it will try to make friends with the new cells. How? By secreting some molecules, by secreting some signals, it will try to communicate with the new cell. If the new cells, okay, in the new environment respond to it, then it will make a big colony that is called metastasis. If they are not responding, then these tumor cells will go to dormancy. Okay, then in dormancy period also, it will keep on acquiring mutation. Why? To face the new challenges in the new environment, right? And the next challenge faced by our tough survivor, that is the cancer cell, is it has to hide from the immune cells to survive. When it is traveling from one organ to another organ through metastasis also, it has to hide, it has to protect itself. So many cells start from one organ to another organ. But what happens? What happens is only few cells will survive, others will not survive because it has to withstand the power of blood, that force, and then immune cells. Like that, lot of complications are happening. So only few cells will survive. That few cells, how they are surviving? So few cells will start as a single cell from primary tumor to the metastatic site, but few cells will start as a group. In that group, it will have some normal cells and it will have some immune cells. So the cancer cell will go in the center and it will cover the normal cells and immune cells along with that, and it will start traveling from the primary tumor to the target site. During that time, immune cells will not be able to or attack the cancer cells because it will be in the center and it will be already covered with the immune cells, other immune cells. So by this way, it escapes the immune system and it enters its target site. So these are the big challenges faced by cancer cells. So what lesson will it give to us? Can you type in the chat box? See, it is facing a lot of challenges. In the bloodstream, it has to overcome the force. Then in the new place, it has to communicate with the other cells to form a colony. And also from the immune cells, it has to escape. So what lesson the cancer cell is giving to us? Anyone? You can type in the chat box. No? Okay. So the lesson which is given by cancer cell is growth is painful, change is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere where you don't belong. This is the lesson, great lesson given by cancer cells at this phase of its life cycle. So going to the next thing, this is called pre-metastatic niche. So whenever we are going to other country or other state or town, what we do first, we will just call and book a hotel, right? The same technique the cancer cells is also using. How? We'll see here. See, the cancer cells, before going to invade any organs other than the primary tumor, what it does it sends lot of signals through secretory molecules. Like that, it will send lot of signals to that particular target site. Why? To make that place suitable for its survival. Got it? So the cancer cells will be keep on sending the signals even before it starts its journey. That's the wonder of this cancer cells. And that microenvironment which is created because of its signal to survive, to make the cancer cells survive, that particular environment is called pre-metastatic niches, PMNS. Here you can see the cancer cell is secreting VEGF, which stimulates the lung, and it's creating a pre-metastatic niche, after which the cancer cells will come in and forming its colony. So wonderful, right? So how it is forming the signals? Either through tumor secretive factors or tumor shed extracellular vesicles. So it can cause vascular leakiness, then it can also remodel stroma and extracellular matrix, and it also does few things to escape from the immune system. So this cancer cells, what it is trying to teach is plan ahead. This is the takeaway from this part of cancer cells life cycle. So why do life cancer cells size up? One second. Why do cancer cells size up? Why? Because its DNA got mutated and it will be keep on dividing and growing just to form a big lump. That is the only thing the cancer cell want, right? It want to increase its colony, just like villain. It want to increase its colony. So it's keep on dividing and it will not respond to any other signals of the cells. This is called pleomorphism, where the cancer cells will have different shapes and sizes. Based on the function, the cancer cells have the ability to change its shapes accordingly. It has lots of adaptability. For example, if the cancer cell want to travel in the bloodstream, it will make round. Its shapes will be round. But in case if it wants to invade or escape from the blood vessels into any particular target organ or somewhere, when it has to pierce, it will change its shapes to elongated cells. So, so this is the takeaway from this particular life cycle, lifestyle of cancer cells. That is, adaptability is the secret of survival. This is what I got from this part. Next, we are going to talk about angiogenesis. So, what is angiogenesis? The formation of new blood vessels is called angiogenesis. Why it is forming? To deliver oxygen and nutrients to the body tissues, right? Why it is required? For the growth and development. Sometimes angiogenesis happens in the normal cells also for wound healing and all. When you get wound somewhere, angiogenesis happen to cover all those things, right? So here the cancer cells are here. So how the angiogenesis are forming? The cancer cells are here. They are secreting some molecules, so signaling molecules that will stimulate the normal blood cell, like the yeah. Then this is the blood flow where you can see this cancer cells molecules will go and activate the proteolytic enzymes, which will degrade and it will make holes for the formation of new blood vessels. This is how the new blood vessels are formed. So this is the nearest normal blood vessel. From there, it forms a new blood vessel by sending this signaling molecules. Okay. So here you can see, this is the small localized tumor and this is the signaling molecules. So after angiogenesis, we can see lot of blood vessels over here. We are thinking cancer cells will come at one point or something like that, but it's not true. Few doctors have already reported that they used to find lot of microscopic nest of cells in accident cases while doing autopsy. So cancer cells start as a small microscopic nest of cells. They grow to half cubic millimeter in size. They cannot get bigger. Why? Because without blood supply, it cannot get bigger. If the cancer cells are not getting blood supply at all, then it will stay non-dangerous. So Dr. Judah Folkman called these kind of cells as cancer without disease. So what is abnormal angiogenesis? See, number of blood vessels should be in check. It should not be growing lot also, it should not go less also. So it is kept in check by the stimulators and inhibitors. If you take the blood vessels, if it is goes in less or more, that can lead to lot of diseases. Here you can see when the angiogenesis is excessive, it can lead to cancer, arthritis, endometriosis, multiple sclerosis, etc. If the blood vessels or angiogenesis is very insufficient, it can lead to hair loss, stroke, coronary heart disease, etc. So angiogenesis should be in balance. So this is what I learned from this part. That is the cancer cells, what it is trying to say is share your knowledge. It is a way to achieve immortality. So here, this is the knowledge tree. Here under, I have compared it with angiogenesis. So it is using the technique of angiogenesis to attain immortality. This is exactly a topic of a paper. I just loved it, so I put it over here. When cancer cells are given lemons, they make lemonade. Let us see what it is doing. See, they conducted one experiment with the cancer cell lines. Actually, they have taken two flasks with cancer cell lines, and one cell lines they've added ammonia. In other cell lines, they didn't add ammonia. So after that, they see this difference. See, in which they added ammonia, they could see lot of cancer cell proliferation. And in that control one, there is not much proliferation compared to this. So what is happening? Why there is more ammonia, more proliferation in this particular sample? So when they one second. Okay, when they tried to investigate, they found this. Usually, what we will do is our normal body cells will excrete ammonia. They will excrete ammonia as a waste product. But cancer cells, no, they're very smart. They don't want to waste anything. What they does is they will take the ammonia, which is that waste material, and it converts back into glutamine. Okay, it's an important amino acid which could be used for building lot of macromolecules. Such an intelligent one, this cancer cell. You can see here the ammonia is converted into glutamine and it is again used by the tumor cells, right? So what is the lesson that we can learn from this cancer cell, from this part especially? Recycle. The possibilities are endless. Cancer cells loves sugar. Yes, they love lot of sugar. Cancer cells, no, they can adjust the energy metabolism according to their survival. Here, the cancer cells will take high amount of glucose and produce lot of lactate. Lactate will give only 2 ATPs, but still they produce lactate only in the presence of oxygen. This process is called Warburg effect or aerobic glycolysis. You can see here, like normal cells is producing pyruvate, then it undergoes and it produces 36 ATPs, whereas the cancer cells produce lactate and only 2 ATPs are produced. So why this is happening? What is the purpose to produce lactate? What the cancer cell is planning to do? I'll tell you why. Because the lactate, it will acidify the tumor environment. When the tumor environment is acidified, it can cause immune suppression, metastatic dissemination, therapy resistant, fuel energetic, and TME acidified. Okay, so all these things favors the tumor growth, and so it want that lactate to come into picture. So only we are avoiding that cycle and they are preferring lactate. They also conducted one experiment. This is so interesting. They have taken two normal cells and the cancer cells. Okay, in that two cells, pyruvate kinase M2 is there. In some normal cells, pyruvate kinase M2 is there, but in cancer cells, mostly pyruvate kinase M2 only is working in glycolysis. So they deleted the pyruvate kinase M2 in both normal cells as well as in the cancer cells. What happens is normal cells completely stop growing. But if you take the cancer cells, they never stop growing. They even divided and grown even with or without pyruvic kinase M2. So what it is trying to tell is they are completely rewiring the metabolism. They can rewire the metabolism according to their situations, their environment, everything. So the lesson we can learn from this part is rewire your brain to achieve success. Next thing is, as I told you, these cancer cells are like big villains, right? So these villains have to hide from police. Our body has lot of police cells. So they hide by reducing the number of cancer antigens. So what is cancer antigens? These are the proteins which are present in the cancer cells. So when the immune cells see these proteins, they can easily kill the cancer cells. But what they will do, they reduce the number of the cancer antigens and they will try to escape. The next thing is the cancer cells and the immune cells have checkpoint proteins. Checkpoint proteins, okay? So the cancer cells and immune cells attach each other so that other immune cells will not attack these cancer cells. This is one more technique used by these cancer cells. The cancer cells are under attack. When the cancer cells are under attack, during it attacks, it releases lot of substances which will slow down or stop the immune response. So the cancer cells are using these many techniques to escape from immune cells. Dr. Weissman demonstrated that cancer cells express CD47, which is a transmembrane protein on the cell surface. And this protein, when binds with SARP alpha, which is present on the macrophages, then the cancer cells will not be attacked by the T cells. So it is like a don't eat me signal. So after seeing this signal, after seeing this networking between the cancer cells and the macrophages, none of the other immune cells will come and attack it. You can see here, this is the tumor cells and this is the macrophage and this is SARP alpha proteins. So when they see this don't eat me signal, they will not attack. If it is not there, they will be attacked by another antibodies. So these are the techniques used by the cancer cells to escape from immune cells. And one more thing is IL-33. As we all know, the cancer cells will keep on genetically changing and evolving over time. They may lose some interleukin 33 from their surface. When they lose, the immune cells cannot recognize the cancer cells. So what will happen? It will keep on spreading and it can cause a lot of cancer. Example, prostate cancer, kidney, breast, lung, uterine, cervical, pancreatic, skin, and many other cancers. Here, this is checkpoint proteins. You can see in tumor cells that is PD-L1 it is there and this is T cell which has PD-1. If they both link together, then other T cells will not come and attack the tumor cells. If you are able to inhibit this attachment, then we can able to kill the tumor cells. So what it does is it will try to network with all other immune cells to escape from the remaining surrounding immune cells. So what lesson we can learn from this is networking is very important for survival. This is a lesson that we can learn from these cancer cells. Next thing is why we can't cure cancer, because cancer is not one disease. There are more than 100 type of diseases. No magic bullet can cure all of the cancer, because we are seeing it's so talented, right? We saw each and every property of cancer. So the reason one is most treatments, whatever we are developing, or we are developing using cell lines in the lab. Of course, it is giving some critical insight, but it lacks the complexity of the tumor in an actual living organism. That is the main problem why we are not able to cure cancer. And the second thing is complexity of the aggressive tumor. Because cancers will keep on mutating, it has lot of subclones. That is heterogeneity is there. This heterogeneity makes cancer cells very complex. For example, if there is a clone, they will have subclones. So a medicine to this particular, if you invent a medicine and if you put it on this cancer cells, only few populations will die, not all the other populations. So a lot of differentiation, heterogeneity is there in the clones. So it is very difficult to kill the cancer cells. And the reason three is tumor is a dynamic interconnected ecosystem. They communicate with the normal cells, they communicate with the blood cells for angiogenesis, they keep on interacting with everything. So it is very difficult to predict how it will signal, what it does next. That signaling pathways and its metabolic pathways were very complex to understand. So it is very difficult to kill the cancer cells. And the fourth reason is they are the masters of adaptation, means adjusting their molecular and cellular characteristics to survive under stress. We saw, right? And whenever in chemotherapy or radiation therapy, if they bombard, it can easily switch on in protective shields against whatsoever attacking them. And they constantly evolve, they constantly mutate. So it is very difficult to predict the nature of the cancer cells. So only people are struggling, scientists are struggling to eradicate cancer. So, what is our part? What we can do? How to prevent this villain in our life? What we can do? See, this is a data. We always think cancer, oh, it's hereditary, like that we used to say. But see this data. Out of 100%, only 5 to 10% is of cancer is forming due to hereditary. 30 to 35% of the cancer is formed due to diet, poor diet system, and 25 to 30% because of tobacco. And remain everything we are creating. So 90% of the cancer are causing due to us. We are only creating the cancer and we are only struggling with that. So what to do? Step one. See, I'm giving few steps. Let us see how it works. So this is diet. The first thing we should notice or the first thing we should change is our diet system. We should include lot of fruits, vegetables, grains, beans and other plants. Why? Because they have phytochemicals. What are phytochemicals? They are compounds produced by plants which help to prevent us from any diseases. Scientists report 40% of the cancer are prevented by diet. So, what are some most beneficial phytochemicals? We all know, but still, beta carotene, other carotenoids, resveratrol, polyphenols, isothiocyanates, which are present in cruciferous vegetables. All these are phytochemicals which act against cancers. And here I can give lot of phytochemicals which are very successful in preventing cancer. And they're used in chemoprevention therapies. So, what is chemoprevention therapies? They use the natural or synthetic compounds to fight against cancer along with other therapies also. So, it is becoming very viral nowadays. So, how does the phytochemicals work? First is it increases the antioxidant status. So, what will happen if the antioxidant status increases? We know our body keep on generating free radicals. Free radicals have the capability to damage the cell membrane as well as the DNA. So, the antioxidant can protect from the attack of free radicals. So, only eating phytochemicals is definitely going to help us, and it can inactivate carcinogen and it can inhibit proliferation and cell cycle arrest or apoptosis. And it also helps in regulating the immune system and it diminish invasiveness and angiogenesis of tumors. You can see all the steps of the cancer are prevented by the phytochemicals, and it's not just simple saying, they have the real data for that. Harvard University conducted an experiment with 79,000 men where men who consume 2 to 3 servings of cooked tomatoes per week have a reduced risk for developing prostate cancer by 40 to 50%. Can you imagine 40 to 50%? That's a great one. So coming to angiogenesis, the blue one is cancer drugs and the yellow one is common drugs and the red one is dietary factors. See, this is the anti-angiogenic factors, okay? These drugs are anti-angiogenics and these dietary factors are red color. Just imagine, just see how much our day-to-day life products Plants, vegetables can protect us from cancer. These many things have anti-angiogenic property. You can see here green tea, strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, or everything we are using in our day-to-day life. We use it properly, regularly, definitely we can prevent cancer disease. So, what are the cancers causing food that we need to avoid? One is genetically modified, processed meat, microwave popcorn, soda, beverages, refined white flour, sugars, conventional not organic fruits, farmed salmon, hydrogenated oils. All these things we should avoid it because it proved that they can cause cancer. The step two. So we focused on diet first, right? The second thing is yoga. Why yoga? Because it's not only about physical fitness, it is about mind and body practice, which is practiced for about 5,000 years in India. And it includes lot of postures and poses. See, yoga is such a wonderful thing which connects your mind, which elevates your spiritual energy, it increases your energy level, it cleanses your aura. Lot of things are there in yoga. Not only it gives physical fitness, but it also gives mental focus and deep relaxation. Here you can see the yoga and its benefits. It decreases stress, relieves anxiety, lot of things are there. Reduce inflammations, improve heart health, fight depression, and reduce chronic pain, good quality sleep. Most of the people are lacking this particularly. They are not getting sleep properly. And eating habits, that also. And our younger generation doesn't have strength or stamina. All this can be improved by incorporating yoga in our lifestyle. Next one is breathing. See, per day we breathe for around 70,000 to 30,000 times. But we are not understanding the importance of that. When you breathe properly, when you oxygenate your cells properly, we remain healthy. If the cells could deprive of oxygen, then lot of disease set in. Okay, because that oxygen only prevent toxic buildup and it keeps bacteria, virus, and cancer cells in check. So benefits of good breathing. What happens when you do good breathing? It releases endorphins, which lower stress and pain, and 70% of cleaning of body toxin is happening by breathing only. Only 30% is happening by the kidneys. 70% of the toxins are removed from our body by this breathing technique. It also improves immunity. How it improves the immunity? Because our cells are fully oxygenated, it can easily absorb the vitamins and micronutrients, and it so the immune cell will be very perfect. They can easily attack any virus or bacteria that invades our body. And it lower pressures. Why? When you do deep breathing, your muscles are getting relaxed. When your muscles are getting relaxed, your blood vessels will dilate and it will lower the blood pressure too. And it helps in efficient functioning of all other body organs. Next is gut bacteria. So human microbiota. If you take our gut, it will have trillions of virus, fungi, and other microorganisms. 10 times more microorganisms than human cells. If you take each species will have different role. Any imbalance in this human gut flora will be linked to lot of diseases. We should have diverse microbiota. That is the healthy option. Why diverse microbiota? Because the more number of bacteria you have, the greater the health benefits. So how to improve that? By eating lots of fruits and vegetables, that will improve your healthy microbiome. And you have to eat not regularly the same food. You should incorporate different foods in your diet. Why? Because then only all the bacteria will get activated. Otherwise, few of the species will go gone only, last only. You can't bring back, and it is a very difficult process. When your microbiota is not fully populated, it can lead to lot of diseases. Why? Because there will not be proper digestion. So your food will be staying there for long time, which can lead to infection, and it can lead to a lot of diseases, including cancer. The next thing which we are going to see is about colon cleaning. That is a very important thing. So removal of toxins from colon. We all sometimes, if we eat naturally fruits and vegetables, it is easy for our colon to get rid of all those things, toxins or waste. But we are eating lot of stuff which cannot be digested by our body system. So because of this, we form constipation. Not enough liquid or not enough bowel movements. So our stool becomes very hard and it is very difficult to push. We should not leave it unnoticed because sometimes it can lead to this accumulation of these toxins can lead to cancer also. So how to have a clean colon if you ask? We have to eat raw vegetables and fruits and drinking lot of green juices or adding fiber, lot of fiber to our diet will definitely increase the bowel movement. And we should drink lot of water too. So these are the benefits of colon. So first, it makes our digestive system more effective. If our digestive system is more effective, you can get rid of more lot of diseases because your food will be digested very soon. Nothing will be staying in the colon for a long time. Then it prevents constipation. It kickstart weight loss, weight, obesity. That is the main reason for cancer, right? Then it improves concentration and it decreases the risk of colon cancer and it increases the body's absorption of vitamins and minerals and it also maintains a pH balance in the bloodstream. The next thing which I would love to say is about physical activity. Yes, staying active, we all know about this. So, staying active can avoid cancers like breast cancer, colorectal cancer, and uterine cancer. If you maintain a healthy weight, then we can avoid a lot of cancers because obesity is the main reason for a lot of cancers. And it also regulates hormone levels and it also helps to digest the food soon. That is also an important thing. Digestion of food plays a very important role in preventing cancer. So we have to eat what can be digested and we have to see how to digest it fast, whether by doing yoga or exercise, what we can do. We should all think about that. Next thing is sunlight. Excess sunlight can contribute to skin cancer, but moderate amount of sunlight actually has lot of benefits. According to research, those who live in areas with fewer daylight hours are prone to a lot of cancers like colon cancer, ovarian cancer, pancreatic cancer, and prostate cancer. So light is very important. Even in the absence of light, we develop cancers. So what it is giving, that what sunlight is giving is it increases serotonin. Serotonin is a mood boosting hormone which helps us to stay calm and focused. Even 5 to 15 minutes sunlight exposure 3 times a week can boost vitamin D. Vitamin D increases not only increases the bone health, it can also protect our vision and protect from cataract and glaucoma and macular degeneration, etc. And you can see a lot of benefits of sunlight. See, it boosts immunity, reduces cancers, lower blood pressures, improves sleeps, can cure depression and improve brain function, lot of functions. So people used to say early morning sunlight is very good for our body. Early morning sunlight after 9 to 4 is toxic. So we can always give it a try. Okay. So we all discussed about what we can do in our lifestyle. But when a cell is born, it doesn't know whether it is going to be a hero, that is normal cell, or a cancer cell, villain. So what decides this is our environment. Yes, we are only deciding it to become cancer. Our lifestyle, our food style, our problems only accumulated as a cancer in our body. In a TED talk, Rangan Chatterjee shared this. Our genetics are not our destiny. Our genes load the gun, but environment that pulls the trigger. Yes, environment that pulls the trigger. Disease is not an overnight thing. It is a long-term process. Our body is continuously bombarded with something that causes cancer. So first we have to address the reason and rectify it. Whether it could be food or environmental toxin or chemicals or alcohol, whatever it is, you have to address the reason and rectify it. So these much long time I spoke about the cancers, the villains. So for the real hero, yes, parents, scientists, and doctors. Doctors and scientists are doing their part. But as a parent, what we have to do? That is a big question. We are a mother, a daughter, a father, or son in each and every houses. If we decide to change the lifestyle, if we decide to change the lifestyle of our children, definitely we can do it. See, will today's children die earlier than their parents? This is a very big debate going on through the world. Just imagine, it's very hurting to read this sentence itself. But our circumstances and the evidence, everything shares the same thing. It could happen. That's what they are also saying. But not on our watch. Definitely not on our watch. We can do much better. We can change our lifestyle. We can change so many things to increase the life expectancy of our future generation. So, what is your next step towards this? Just think about it. Thank you.
Great, great presentation, Dr. Shadran. It was great. I really loved the way you closed it. I think there is so much to learn about still about cancer. Sometimes there was has been a lot of suggestions, right? That in which you kind of showcased today to us that
Mhm.
um, cancer, it's something that we can cure in a way or prevent it, not cure it but prevent it, right? And
Yes,
today you happen to show us, you walked us through the introduction of cancer and how the cells are actually become cancer, right? They get to
yes,
choose, but it is our decisions, our choices
yes,
that we make through our lifetime. And the lifetime, it's, and this is what I think, I sometimes advise as I teach the pre-pathology class one of my institutions, I say it is something, this doesn't happen today. This is a long life term,
yes, yes,
right?
madam.
I love the fact that you even said, it's a family, it's a parent. We make
Yes,
these choices how we start our kids, what they eat, what would they decide to eat, and they become a habit,
yes,
right?
madam.
Very good. I really, I don't know. Let me, this is the time. Thank you guys. The audience, please put your questions in the chat. Any questions you have, I have already Ms. Argata Kankan that would like to address a question for you. If you're shy, that you are serious, you want a question to ask, but you don't want to say it aloud, please put it in the chat and I will ask on behalf of you. Here we have Ms. Kankan. Go ahead.
Dr. Chandran, thank you so much for his presentation. It was really, really insightful and it really added to my knowledge about cancer. One of the things that you said that sparked my interest the most is when he actually mentioned the microbiota and the microbiome in the gut. Um, and I know that a lot of the research on it is pretty preliminary and not confirmed, but what do you know so far about the influence on your microbiome and directly causing cancer?
Yeah. As I told about you, the microbiome is very important. Why? For the digestion of the food. What we are eating is not easily digestible by our microbes. And we are repeatedly eating the same thing, pizzas, burgers, same wheat or milk or something, same thing is going on. So lot of microbes already died. We lost lot of species, different species. We have to have lot of source, lot of microbes in our digestive system, which helps to digest everything. Because if it is staying there in the colon for a long time, it is inviting all the infections. When there is a wound or something, then it triggers change in DNA, which can lead to cancer. So it is very important to keep our microbiota in a proper way. Like it should be diverse. So we have to eat in a diverse way, like a lot of things we have to add. Thank you so much for asking this question.
Thank you very much.
Can I add a little bit on that, Dr. Chadran, and within that question? Well, there has been a lot of suggestions that in which you actually gave us an ingredient sample of the foods not to eat, and one of have been the preserved foods that somehow they influence the microbiota colony ratio that's supposed to be in our gut, and as a result there's a constantly fight between the good versus the bad bacteria, and that kind of is stressing the bacteria in our guts, that it's causing this kind of
Yes.
autoimmune diseases, and
Yes.
that is why we're seeing in the past 5 years a high rise of a lot of digested related diseases, and one of that is IBS.
Oh, wow, ma'am. This is a wonderful information. Yes, really, it happens. When there is a fight inside our body, obviously it will result in some mutation, right? Which can lead to a lot of diseases. Wonderful, ma'am.
Um, another here we have another question. Question is by Pamela. Pamela says, Dr. Shadan, thank you for an awesome presentation.
Thank
You
you.
explain how gut cells go bad very clearly. What is one current area of cancer research that you feel is most promising?
Actually, recently, immunotherapy, all are going behind immunotherapy only. But in India, people always follow Ayurvedic. There are some cases because in India, they have lot of herbs and they can cure cancer also, but there is no scientific studies on that. So if you go to small villages in India, there are lot of people who those believe in those drugs and they can cure their cancer, but it is not published in the paper or it is not coming in the TVs and everywhere because there is no scientific studies on those particular things. So nature is can cure everything because we are getting everything from nature. Nature has the answer. So only immunotherapy is also why working because they are using our own immune cells to attack cancer cells. We have all the answers. We have all the answers for the questions. Only thing is we should know how to stimulate that. That's it. So immunotherapy along with that chemo prevention therapy, I think that will be more promising.
I Dr. Sharon, that is a wonderful. Um, One of the things that, and just by you saying with your answer, I was thinking, oh my God, the oils are very easy to that can pass through our skin barrier, right? And our cells, and actually can it's a predictable way of a therapy. It will be interesting to see it having the treatment of these oils plus having the treatment that autoimmune, and then do a genomic analysis since we have that technology, and see it's just the pretreatment of hacking into our immune system, and then only the oils, and then put them together and see how does it change our genomic differences in terms of genes. We have the technologies that we just need the right scientists, the right study to be written, and the right pharmaceutical to embark on it.
Yes, ma'am. You're right.
But good. We have here another question. It is Niklas Langer, and the statement is, thank you for the presentation. Which cells are triggered by interleukin 33?
Which cells?
Which cells are triggered by interleukin 33?
Interleukin 33 triggers all the immune cells, especially T cells. So if they see that signal, the T cells will come and attack the cancer cells and kill it. So it is a symbol that it's not belong to our body like that.
Perfect. Any other questions? Niklas?
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Any other questions do we have from the audience? No? Okay, at this moment, I would like to deeply, from the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of the New Jersey Academy of Science, thank you, Dr. Shadran, for sparing some of your time here to kind of fill us with a lot of intellectual information and inform us of the new outcomes. And to be honest, I have heard before a lot of cancer talks, but today, the way you presented, you took it to the next level. And thank you so much for that. So
Thank you so much.
on behalf of the New Jersey Academy of Science Board and seminar organizers, I would like to express my gratitude to all of you who have come together today for your cooperation, which has enabled us to conduct a highly intellectual seminar. Please continue to do all you can to prevent the spread of COVID-19 and take a good care of yourself and your families. Don't forget to wear your mask. Thank you for taking the time to patiently listen to all our questions. I wish you all a blessed day. Thank you, Dr. Shadran. Do you have any comments you would like to add?
Uh, First of all, I should thank you for giving me such a wonderful opportunity, ma'am. It's been it's a great opportunity to speak after a long time. I got this opportunity, and I'm very happy. I'm so grateful to you, and I love to thank all the audience because of their patience and who and all raise their questions, their involvement, everything. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you,
Take
ma'am.
care, and we hope that we could hear from more from you and other topics related to cancer in the future.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
This
With
is not a
pleasure.
goodbye. This is just a very short goodbye. Thank you to all guys. Have a beautiful weekend. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye. Thank you.